Hello, all. Good evening. Today we are going to learn really the most important topic in terms of security while you are working on JavaScript projects, especially. So, before going to enter into the topic, I will explain the importance of this .env files and importance of this topic. Okay, just read out this the two lines that it was long ago when Uber had paid 148 million settlement for a data breach which exposed the data of some 57 million drivers. Okay, so Uber was faced really a big problem a few years back, because someone had did some mistake. Developer, he added some security keys or whatever the secure information in the GitHub repository. So these hackers got that information and overpaid 148 million uh, dollars. Okay, this is according to this article. Okay, this is really I think this is just in 2022. Okay, so that is very important because as a developer, okay, once you got a job and suppose if you are working on a project, you should be very careful that you should not store any secure information in the code. Okay, because we will push our code in the git repository, right? So 99% or 100% everyone use github or bitbucket or um, GitLab for the version control system, because at a time multiple developers will work on the same project. So at the time, the security is more important. So we should understand the importance of .env files, so that you are not going to do any kind of mistakes. Okay, before going jumping into the topic, just take the confirmation from students. Hey team, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Ready, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just to go and open our YouTube channel and just give a like on our video because this is very important. Maybe at least will reach more people. Okay, I think some of students really uh, neglect this topic, but this is very important. Okay, just quickly do it. Otherwise, just focus on the topic. So already from last few days, okay, before 1 week, we have built a simple REST API. With the help of a Node and Express.js, we have done a CRUD operations on this simple JavaScript object. We have done the post get and patch and delete and put methods thing successfully. Sorry, successfully. And now again we have understand the MongoDB, right? So our goal is we are going to um, interact with the database. So if you see, then you will understand the importance of .env file as well. So this is our Node.js application, Node and Express. So it's too slow sometimes. Bear with me. It's a Node.js application running, and we are storing our data in a MongoDB. Okay, in a few days we are going to use MongoDB Atlas, the cloud platform, but for now we can go with the simple database. Okay, I will explain the first importance of that database, importance of .env file. Okay, MongoDB. So here we are building node application. Already we have installed MongoDB, and yesterday we have done third operation with the help of MongoDB shell. So here we are storing the details in the JavaScript object, but uh, we need to actually in a real-time project we are going to store that information like users information should be there in the database, so that we should connect, right? First of all, we should connect to a database from our Node.js application. So if you want to connect to this MongoDB application or any database in the world or any other server, you should have a DB connection, right? Yes or no? You remember
Yes, sir.
DB connection. So even if you open MongoDB Compass, it will show you the DB connection details, right? Just a minute. I will open that one as well so that you will understand clearly. So I'm just opening MongoDB Compass. So if you say URI simply, or here this is a URI. Okay, this is a simple connection. Even we need to add user ID, password, some details, but at least on high level, just remember this is edit connections. I'm just taking this. Okay. So of course, suppose if you want to connect to the MongoDB, we are going to take help of another node package that is called Mongoose. But here I'm not going to install Mongoose today, but I will explain. So if you install this Mongoose, and with the help of Mongoose, we are going to do CRUD operations on the MongoDB with a Node.js application. So whenever we want to do any CRUD operation, first of all we should connect to the database. Right? For that we need the DB connection URL. So that what we will do normally. So in general, suppose if we are learning, if you are a beginner, what we will do? We will do like this: DB connection, connection, and we will save these details in a index.js file. Okay, normally we should add a user ID password as well here. For example, I'm just taking this simple connection string. So if you want to connect, definitely you should have a user ID and password and all those details. Then only you will connect. So if you add these DB connection details in the code, this is going to be a big blunder. We should not do that. Okay, I'm just giving a simple example. Maybe in the future, API tokens or environment details or anything, we should not hard code in the code, because I will tell you one the reason. Because in any organization, suppose if you're working on a JavaScript project or any project actually in software development, so normally we are using a version control system. Okay? So for example, I'm taking the GitHub is the free version, so it will give access. You can play with the GitHub. So we will create a repository in a GitHub, and so that if 10 members are there in your team, so these 10 members are going to create branches. 10 members are going to create branches on that particular repository, and 10 people will work together. And suppose sometimes the two or three developers can work on the same file, and while they are committing, maybe if you get some conflicts, you should resolve and you should update the details. So finally, our code will be there in a GitHub. Now, GitHub is the cloud, right? Cloud. This is the cloud platform. This is a cloud platform. So GitHub is a Microsoft product actually. Right now it is under Microsoft. I'm not sure who started this. Hopefully Microsoft itself. Microsoft. That means Microsoft company is maintaining the GitHub, and if you upload all the secrets of your application like connection strings and API tokens and user ID and password in this GitHub, maybe there is a chance, right? Okay, of course, Microsoft people don't do that. But for example, I'm saying if they want to see your code, definitely they have access. Okay, they have access. They can see the details. Okay, or hackers, right? Okay, maybe Microsoft people don't do that, but hackers will be there, right? Hackers will hackers can by any chance if they got access to your code base, if they found some DB connection and some user ID and password, so they are going to hack your application, and they will demand like billions or millions of money based on the value or value of your application. So we should not. So so this is our local. So this is your computer. This is your computer. So all the files you can have a sync with mm, all the project files which are there in the GitHub and your local. But few security things are there, right? So for example, DB connection string, DB connection string, that should be that should be a secret. It should be along the only developers who are working in that organization who are working on this project, especially. Even you should not share those details to other team also. So this should be a secret. So we are not going to commit these changes. We are not going to put this DB connection details into the GitHub. So first of all, if you want to restrict something to commit into the GitHub, first of all, what we need to do, we need to create a file called gitignore. Git. So this is the file. So what will happen? So here, first of all, we should ignore node modules, okay? Because here node modules is not a security reason, but node modules is very, very heavy, so that we no need to push our node modules into the Git repository. So always node modules should, because if a new developer came, if we create a branch, and if he clone that repository into his local machine, he will download all the node modules from the npm.js or any other private repository. So we should not, because while you are committing the code, of course, in this training I didn't provide a training on GitHub and how to create a branch and all those things, but very soon I'm going to provide the training on that. But hopefully many of you already aware of what is Git and what is how to create a branch and all those things come into details. Okay, so here we should add the node modules in this git ignore modules. This is a folder, that's why I'm just giving a forward slash, so that I don't want to push any kind of file from this node modules folders into a git repository, so that in future once you create a branch and once you have done the changes and once you commit the code, uh, this git ignore file always check and it will restrict these node modules files to move from your local machine to a git repository. So that this is one important thing. But here note, to upload a node mod into the git repository is not a security issue, but that is a data issue, because the memory problem, because if node modules are very, very heavy. Okay, team, are you able to understand what I'm saying, or do you have any questions here? What did
Understood, sir.
Okay, let's jump into the actual topic of a .env file. Because here, okay, fine. Because I told you that okay, we should not store these DB connection details in index.js file or any other file here. Okay, if you add anything in any JavaScript file, we should add that file into gitignore, because we should not push that code into the repository or a cloud platform or any other place. So, but how to solve this problem? So, I will tell you something. So, now we should understand one important thing from Node.js. Okay, one important object that is called process. Okay, PROCSS. This is very, very important. Okay, so it has, okay, first let me do, I will show you what is there in that process. So what I'm doing in an index.js file. Okay, let me add app.js file. Yeah, for now. So I'm just putting the console.log. We are going to execute this particular file because we have a lot of things are there in index.js file. App.js file. I'm just putting suppose the hello. So it is going to print, right? It is going to print. So I'm just writing the node app. So it is printing hello. So in the same way, I'm going to do, there is an object called process. Okay, process. Let's see what is there inside that. So let me execute one more time. So if you see, it has lots of data. So it's an object actually. Okay, object provided by the Node.js. Okay, if you see, it is showing that versions. What is the version of Node.js? A node version, some other things, okay, module version, an API. Even I'm not aware of all these things actually. Even I'm also a beginner up to some point. So platform Windows 32 release node LTS as a hydrogen. Okay, if you see the source URL, lib URL, lots of details are there. So here, what is this process object means? If you see, so we are, because we are using a command prompt, or we are using, if you use a terminal, okay, if you use a terminal, whatever it is, so you are, because through this terminal you are going to run the whole Node.js application, right? If you do like a node app and enter, so that this terminal is going to take all the control on all these files, and it will run the application, and it will allow us to interact from the client through toggle or postman or any website or any web application you can interact, right? So this terminal, this command prompt, this terminal or this command prompt, okay, once you run the Node.js application, okay, it is going to take control of many things. Okay, so in that process, because like we just understand that execution process, because we are executing our Node.js application on one terminal. So we will, that Node.js is going to provide lots of information to that terminal. Okay, so in the same way, as I said, we should not store details in a index.js file or any other JavaScript file here. But where we should store them, where we should store the secret information. Okay, I said we should not store here. For now I'm just commenting it. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to commit the code into the GitHub right now. So I want these details. I want the DB connection details, because through this index.js, through this Node.js application, I want to interact with the MongoDB, right? For that I need a DB connection. I want, whether we are working on a development server, whether it is a production server or the um, uh, staging server, those details also I need to add. Or in future, I need to save some user ID and password or API tokens, lots of security information. So we are saying that, hey, we should not store in the hard, we should not hard code it, but where we need to add it. That is a very important thing. Where we need to add it now, where we need to add it now. Here we are running the application, right? Here we are running the application. Here we are running the application. So that we need to give that information to that process, because this Node.js terminal or command prompt or PowerShell command or any terminal in a VS Code, okay, whatever you can say, where you are running the application, there is an object called the process, and the process is going to get control of our application and all the files. So process is going to hold lots of information. So we need to give our secure information to that process object. Got it? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
we need to give the information to the process object. The simple, okay, for example, maybe suppose in our family, our father is an important person, so that we need to give a key and bank account details, everything. We need to hand over to the father, right? Here itself, who is going to run our application, who is going to take control of our application, is a this terminal, and this process, the execution process, is going to take care of, right? So that we need to give those details to that process. So how to give those details to that process object? Okay, right now, so and these are the environment variables. So here, just a minute, this is the process, right? In that process object we have lots of another child objects. Okay, so there is a very important one, that is environment files. Okay, process dot environment, another object is there. So let's see, is there any details in that process.env? Okay, node app. So in that process.env itself have lots of information. You see, app data, lots of information is there. Right now, you don't need to worry about this one, all these things. Okay, but our goal is, yes, this process.env is the very important object. So we should add our secure information into this process.env object. So how to add it? So suppose right now I just open the command prompt here. Right now I just opened the command prompt here, and you should set your secure information into process.env here itself. Here itself. Okay, here I'm going to add the first secure object into process.env. Okay, how I am doing? Observe carefully. I'm just putting, if you are working in a window, just put set, and if it is a Mac machine, I think you can do directly like the variable name and the value, or just cross check in the Google how to set environment variables in the Mac machine, because I forgot actually. Though here, suppose in Windows, like most of our students are using Windows. So if you want to, suppose a DB connection, okay, set. Okay, I want to add a DB. I'm just giving a key like a DB underscore connection. So I don't want to hard code into the code, right? So DB connection, what is the value of DB connection here? Index.js, of course, I just, for a namesake, I'm just stored here. So what I'm doing, okay, because if you add information here, this information is not going to visible for anyone in the world, because this is running on your machine, right? So no one can check your detail. So once we deploy our application into the some server, there that server administrator will take care of all these things. Okay, those things we can check later. Right now, just understand from the developer perspective at least. So DB connection, I want to store the DB connection, the secure information. This is the most secure information. We should not add into the hard coded values in a code in any JavaScript files. So enter. So done. So if you see, I'm doing like again process dot environment. Let's see whether we have added our DB connection into that environment file. So that just run again node app. Okay, um, if it is in alphabetical order. Okay, are you able to find any DB connection details here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. So definitely previously it was not there. So this is a MongoDB localhost 27017. So because this is, if you just run on this your terminal, because that is different, right? That is, I just ran through this command prompt, this command prompt. Now I'm running the same thing, the node app. Let's see whether you will able to see that information in this terminal. It's in alphabetical order, right? I will just scroll up. Okay, are you able to find DB connection here? ABC,
No.
only driver data is there, then EFC details. Okay, if you go to this terminal, if you see driver data is there, EFC is there. Before that, we have a DB connection. That means you are running your Node.js application on this terminal initially. So if you set any environment variable, it will be available in this process only. Okay, again, if you see, this is different. You are running your application from another terminal. That means it will treat as a, this is another instance. Maybe another user is trying to run our application. I don't want to, I can't share that secure information to another process, or like another a terminal also. So that is very secure. Got it? My point?
Yes,
Team,
sir.
yeah, who are watching this video, just give a like on this like and add a comment like understood or not, because this is the most important information. Of course, in next few minutes we are going to learn much more information. Okay, this is really important information. Okay, maybe once you got a job, once you are working on a project, if you do some mistakes, maybe if you want to realize at the time, I can't do anything, but please don't do, learn properly and don't do the mistakes in a real time projects. Okay, fine. So do you want to add any other thing?
Sir,
Okay, I'm just clearing things.
sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, it will only say, only one device, sir, on
Yes,
our running
only
TV
one
connection.
device and
No
one
other
terminal.
devices.
Yeah, only in your terminal. Even terminal also unique, right? Because if you see, I shown you, I opened in a command prompt, and at the same time, this is terminal. These are two instances, right? So the information set through this terminal is not going to share to this terminal. Got it? I think you have a proof, right?
Okay.
You have seen. You're not able to see DB connection here.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, I will give some more examples. So I want to add a few more details. Okay, I'm just putting set a node environment. Okay, whenever you want to set node environment, I'm just giving node underscore env. So I'm just putting like a development environment or production environment. Okay, for now let's go with the production. It's not a production environment, so I'm just giving it's a production. Okay, so let's see whether you will be able to see the node app, node environment. So alphabetical order. Let's go to, are you able to see that node environment production?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So okay, fine. So you're running your application. You're running your application. But suppose if you want to connect to the database, you need this information, right? You need this DB connection value and the node environment, which you have stored in the process.env object. You should able to get the details from your terminal through your code, because if you're running this application on that terminal and you're storing the details on the terminal, and this code can access it. Okay, I will show you. So this is the terminal. Okay, this terminal holds that process object. Okay, this is your code. So if you have a DB connection, here what we can do, if you through dynamically through JavaScript code, you can get this environment variables again into the code. Okay, because if you hard code it, it's a problem, right? If you don't hard code, no one can see that value. So let's see how we can access the details. Again, app.js file. So I'm just adding here process.env, right? Of course, the same way. Of course, if you're able to see that process.env detail in the terminal, that means we are again reading the information from the process object. Here simply, what I'm doing, console.log. Now we can go and read individual details. So env dot what's that first one, db underscore connection. So I want to display only that detail. So through JavaScript code, you can access the details, because here you didn't add hard code, right? If someone got this code, okay, he is able to see that process.env.db connection, but he can't be hacker can't see what is the value inside the DB connection. He can't see that. That's why we can provide the security. So if you hard code this, like if you do console.log again, but even we should not do console.log also. This security things, okay. But right now, for understanding purpose, I'm saying. But in the next day, so we are going to install the Mongoose, and we are going to use that DB connection, and we are going to connect to the MongoDB. Everything we can do. So here, as a console.log, let's see if you want to read that value. Right now, I'm just doing a console.log, but we should not do console.logs in the production code. Okay. Again, console.log, console.log. What is another value? Process dot env dot node
Node.
underscore. Let's say right now I'm just displaying those two details itself because it's still running. You didn't close. If you close it, maybe it will go. Okay, you see, you're able to see the MongoDB connection details and the product node environment details. Okay. Okay, now tell me, understood or not, everyone?
Understood, sir.
Akash,
Yes, sir.
Pavan,
Yes, sir.
got it? Who are watching this
Yes, sir.
video, understood or not? If you understood, just comment in the video that understood. Okay, and now I'm going to explain one more important thing because this is half part. Okay, half part. But in real time, because it's always tough to set. Suppose in real time we will have minimum 10 or 20 security information actually. So it's not possible for us to, because every day we need to work, right? We will shut down the machine, and the next day we will restart the machine, and again if you want to set all this DB connection and node environment or name, username, password, it's really tough, right? It's really tough. The only thing is we should not push our secure information. We should not push our secure information into the GitHub. Okay, and who are going to take care of a deployment process? Because they will take this code only for, right, for a deployment. At the time, they will also have all the DB connection, all these details. They will set those details on the process actually on the terminal where that original node application is running, the backend server is running. So there they will set those. Administrator will take care of that. Okay. So here, so we should not upload into the GitHub. But okay, but every day as a developer, if you're working with this environment variables, or if you're working with a JavaScript project, it's really tough for us to set environment variables in the command prompt, right? So to help us, someone has created one node package that is called .env. So npm.js. So if you understand what we have discussed so far, then only you will understand what I'm going to explain. So that's why I'm asking you understand or not. So the students who joined here, they don't have a chance to practice now itself, and they need to quickly understand the next topic. But who are watching this video in a YouTube, pause this video, and practice what we have done so far. So then again continue this video so that you will understand clearly. So you are going to understand the importance of .env and environment files now itself, today itself. So if you do practice, if you don't do practice, I'm saying you will forget the next day morning. That is guaranteed. Fine. So there is a beautiful package called .env. .env. So it will help. This package will help because it will help developers. Okay, hey Raghu, you don't need to add these environment variables every day into terminal because you're going to work on this project every day. So on, you need these details every day. So it's not that much easy to set all these environment variables in the through command prompt every day. It's the toughest job. So that I will help you in one way. I will help you in one way. So what is that now? So first, we should, as I told you that the package called npm, .env. So I'm going to install that package. So I hope who are watching this video, they have at least a basic knowledge on the like a node application, right? So if you didn't, just open any simple folder and do npm init and just install the package. It will work out. So now what I'm doing, is clear. I'm going to install this package, special package called npm install env. And of course, we are not going to use this package in the production so that you can save as a dev dependency. Okay, right now, leave it. First, we can focus on the concept. So just install npm install.env. Okay, the package is installed. Okay, if you want to see whether this package is installed or not, go to the package.json and definitely you will find that .env. But normally we will need to install it as a dev dependency. Okay, anyway, we are going to rebuild the whole application from Monday, so that I will explain all these things there. So we have installed .env, the package, into our application. So what is use of this .env file? So here the problem is, problem for the developer is it's not possible for me to set all the security values into the process.env object every day through this command prompt. So for that, hey, no problem. You can create a JavaScript file. You can create a JavaScript file with a .env extension. Just .env. You can add n number of security keys here. Okay, because I'm not going to push this .env file into the GitHub. So for first that, what we need to do? Hey, this is very important. Okay, you should not forget. You should mention this .env file. Then this git, while we are committing the code, this git ignore will take care of that. Okay, it is not going to touch your .env file. It is not going to read your .env file. It is not going to push your .env file into the GitHub repository. So that, yeah, we have achieved the security. So we don't have any problem for security now. So the only problem is, yeah, it's too difficult to add all the keys on a terminal every day. So that just add all these keys here itself. Okay, again I'm writing, what is that? DB underscore
Connection.
connection, and you can mention what's the URL. Okay, DB connection. Okay, sometimes even if you don't give a double quotation, it will allow. Right now, we can make it simple. So another one is node underscore environment. So we have given production. If you want to give it a string, just go with that. So by default, it will consider the string. No problem. So we have two things because we have taken two security things so far. So just practice at least this one, you will understand. So here, through JavaScript app.js file, we should able to read it, right? So right now, I'm just closing this terminal. I'm just closing this terminal. And if I open the terminal again, so if you see, if I open that terminal again, you can't read those values. Okay? Because once you drop the, okay, 1 minute, I will open that again into the terminal. Full stack application, the my server. Right click, run the terminal here, open terminal. So if you see, right now I'm running again node app. Previously we have a DB connection details and all those things, right? Right now it is showing undefined. Undefined. Because if you want those details again, you need to set. Because whenever you are running your application, you need to set the DB connection details and node environment details and user ID, password, and API tokens on all other secure information. So it's really tough because, so if you by mistake, if you close this terminal and whatever the variables you have set, everything will go on. Because yeah, we need to maintain the security, right? So now So it's really tough, right? It's really tough to set all the variables from a command prompt every day or every after you close that terminal. So the simplest way is this dot package, observe carefully, this dot env package, what it will do, it is going to read all your, so it will do your job. It will help developer, because you need to add all the things into the terminal, because I'm repeating multiple times because it should register in your mind. That's why maybe you got some irritation. So it is this .env package is going to read all these things, and it will put into that process.env for you on behalf of you. So it will save your time, my time, or developer time. Okay. So how it will do? So it will do automatically. But if you want to read those values again in app.js, because for making it simple, I'm just using only app.js. Here, I'm just doing require, because previously it was showing undefined, right? Require. What is that package? .env dot config. That's it. So if you do this one, you do this one, so it will give access to read the process.env value. So it is going to load this .env files into your terminal. Through that terminal, it is going to store that value into process.env, so that you can read any point of time. Because if you have hundreds of JavaScript files, just do like require .env.config and you can read those values. Let's see whether you are able to see, because here right now you are going to read these values from this .env file, because just two steps. What is happening? Suppose this is the terminal. Okay, understand carefully. This is the terminal. So previously you have done manually. You have done the set DB connection or something manually. So here you have a friend. Okay, your friend is there. Your friend name is the .env. Okay, he is going to read the information from this .env file. So what are the details there? So he's going to bring this information, and he's going to set those security information into this process on behalf of you, the developer or administrator. So observe carefully what will happen in app.js. So now if I run this application one more time, it's a node app. Got it or not?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Now for cross-checking, because maybe you can say that, "Hey, Raghu, we added before it," but that's why it's working. So to cross-check, let me add a few more details here. So I'm just adding like a user. Okay, user. I'm just putting like a SVG. Save it. So now run the application one more time, because I didn't add a user into the terminal, right? Of course, if you just close this terminal, it will forgot everything what you have set in that process. So again, I'm running application, but here we need to add, right? This file. Is that key? Through this key, you are able to read the value. So no one can see your data. Even hacker also can't see your data. So unless until if you give access to your machine, and if you showcase your code of the .env file, he can steal your data. Okay. Normally they will hack GitHub repositories, unless until you are very popular and they will try to hack on your machine. So this is SVG and user, right? So I'm just put a process.user. Okay, let's run our application one more time. So clear. Got it or not?
Yes, sir.
Only one person understood.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So of course, it's really tough to digest whenever you are observing, whenever you are listening, or whenever you're learning first time. But please do practice multiple times. Okay, if you do practice multiple times and just revise, then you will understand this concept, and you are not going to forget. So I'm saying this is the most important topic for every developer in the world, because you see, if you hard code any secure information in your Git repository, if by mistake if you push any hard coded secure details into the GitHub, that's the biggest blunder. Even if you don't do work for 2 days, if you come to office late, if you don't finish your work in time, maybe your manager is not going to take any action. But if you do these kind of mistakes now, they will fire you, I'm saying. So this is a security, because they will lose their business, maybe they will lose the trust from the clients. So of course our managers, team leads will help you, will help us to avoid all these mistakes while you started working on the project. But still, as a developer, we should understand the importance of these things, and in interviews definitely they will try to check whether you are aware of this information or not. So, okay, that's all. And for watching this video, I'm saying just click on like button. After doing practice, after you understand, if you feel happy, then add a comment that you understand or not. Okay. Thank you, and see you tomorrow again with another super important concept. And from Monday, we are going to recreate our this Express application, and we are going to connect with the MongoDB database, and we are going to build our server, JW token, and all of other super important concepts. Okay, that's fine.
Thank
If
you,
you have
sir.
any question, ask me. Mayur and Prakash Pawan.
No, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, just enjoy the day, and please do practice and get ready for the tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, sir.